Hello everybody. Welcome back to another wonderful indie horror experience brought to us by Dread XP Publishing, also goes by I think Ducky on YouTube. And
Ducky.
That's his name. And this is My Friendly Neighborhood. It's when I first saw it, I thought it was going to be another one of those, Sesame Street is evil horror games like 1, 2, 3 Murder Street, or Hello Puppets, decent, but in VR, and I don't know if I'm going to really do anything for that game. Sorry, but when I brought up the fact that I wanted to do this as a look at to my friends, Jordy then actually stepped forward and said that she actually knew someone who was involved with the project.
Mm-hmm. In fact, Mister, could you please introduce yourself to everybody?
I sure can. So, hey everybody. So, for those, well, first things first. My name is Paul Green Dennis. For those who know me on Twitter and also in other places, I also go by Deep Green VO, and I am the voice of Ray in My Friendly Neighborhood.
Ooh.
Everyone's favorite mechanic centipede worm thing guy. He's cool.
Get on out of here, you hairball!
Actually sounds like Wario trying to cough up something. Anyway.
Sorry, hairball.
So anyway. So yeah, welcome everybody to My Friendly Neighborhood. We're gonna just hop right into it, and we'll talk about the game, we'll talk about Paul, we'll talk about what's hiding underneath the mattress, and we're gonna just hop right into it. I'm gonna skip that. That's Ray.
Oh, there he is! Hello!
There you are. He's so lovable. Alright, so I was my practice save to make sure I knew what the heck I was doing. I'll do survival.
Welcome to
And
the neighborhood.
here's our story.
Okay.
The story is we slid.
Oh, boy.
Whoa.
Ow.
Ouch.
This is a demo, so hopefully we'll. This is a demo, so hopefully they'll improve those hand models. But the quick store page plot is that there's an old show called My Friendly Neighborhood, and suddenly the TV studio, had to be closed down. But then out of the blue, out of nowhere, the TV studio started broadcasting episodes of the show again, but they were really weird. Like the puppets started eating each other on the
Ew.
screen.
Talk about cannibalism.
The town thought that the station's antenna was, being faulty and broadcasting episodes when it shouldn't, so they sent Handyman Gordon here to go and fix it. And then supposedly in the full game we'll see what happens that led us to sliding down, and now we meet Arlo.
Oh dear, oh my. You seem to be stranded in the basement.
How do I get out of here, Ricky?
Oh, haven't a clue. Never come
This
down
isn't
here
a
myself.
Nintendo
Why?
review. You
What's
can't
got
be
your
here
overalls
yet.
in a knot?
So this is like the second time he's voiced a puppet. Groovy.
I suppose so. I guess it made sense.
Yeah.
Looks very bad. Very unprofessional.
It's my job.
Look, Gordy, I know our routine's a little rough.
It's so weird seeing the name Gordy.
Pilot. Incidentally,
It's so weird hearing this voice not in a YouTube
This
video.
time,
I know.
It's so
You know,
weird.
you know what I mean.
It's so weird hearing this voice not being pessimistic about Nintendo.
Assuming they're not releasing any news about Pikmin 4.
Yeah.
great.
Oh yeah, he's mentioning that this is a Ray's domain we're heading into soon. We'll get around to that sooner or later.
Yep.
Also, I'm sorry. What the heck is your character holding on to at the moment?
This is the Rolodexer. You get silly little weapons, so it's based off of a phone Rolodex. It's a pistol. I could shoot this guy again to stop talking, but I wanted to see what happens.
Okay.
Why would you want to do that to poor Arlo anyway?
Away!
You barely have any hair.
Alright, let's get some goodies.
All the easier to wash.
Just in short, the thing that made me the thing that appealed to me about this game is, so bending the ink machine and stuff like that was more inspired by Amnesia: The Dark Descent. 1, 2, 3 Murder Street is more so based upon just Five Nights at Freddy's and jump scares. My Friendly Neighborhood, if I were to describe its gameplay, it's basically Resident Evil. Like classic Resident Evil even.
Sure is.
I guess more so 7 and 8 considering we're in first person.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
But, so now that I've gone that out of the way, the main things to note are that we have an attaché case inventory system. Tape will be, think of tape like the matches from Resident Evil 1. And let's see, this is our ammo for the Rolodexer. We have health. Meet the second weapon, the Novelist. Shotgun.
Let's get writing.
Time to write us a fairy tale.
It's gonna be great. And beyond that, as far as the mechanics are concerned, I'm gonna mostly skip some of these files because then we'll get to like the main, like one of the big reasons why we're also talking about this game and having, you know, Paul here as our guest, is we're here to investigate, find a way out of this sub basement to get to the elevator, which is currently locked behind a chained door, and we need to find ourselves some bolt cutters. And beyond that, you're just gonna see me going through this game. So I guess to start things off, Paul, what was your experiences like setting up and I guess recording for this game?
Truth be told, you know, when it came down for the day to record for the game, I'm like, you know, because the voice I used for Ray, I was literally, I kind of used like my musical background to initially when I was doing this character to create overtones like, so
I can see that, yeah.
Like to create this character, like he doesn't say anything or really much of nothing, almost nothing, but yet
He's fine.
he says everything. You just gotta. I had to get real physical for Ray,
He
because
says everything and nothing at the same time.
he doesn't verbalize words really all that much at all. He really doesn't.
He kind of reminds me of like, and that's why we want to tape the puppets, is because otherwise they will not stay down forever. So taping them is how you can permanently keep them from coming back up. But same with matches, you only have so many rolls of tape, so choose carefully.
Oh, so what? Do the puppets at some point literally become some sort of crimson fluff?
I would hate that, but no. It's just that, yeah, unless you tape them, if you leave a room and come back, they will all come back.
I will say, just right off the bat, they must have had like a lightning fast update between the build you're playing and the build that I watched my friend SR play, because one problem that I had right off the bat with the game is that, like, it's still kind of there to an extent, but the build I saw, it was like, this is like the most well-lit horror atmosphere I've ever seen.
So, and I guess, yeah, I guess I'll bring us to another quick thing is that I'm here because I'm super optimistic. When I first brought up the idea of all this to Hype, he was very skeptical about it. Or he sounded
a lot of it
anyway.
has to do with the fact that, like I mentioned before we did our recording, a friend of mine in Jordan's, they go by SR the Shapeshifter. They did a stream of the demo not long ago, and I won't go into like the nitty-gritty details, at least not yet, but after watching the demo, I was kind of under that impression of, I'll give it time to fully develop, because, you know, this is still like an early demo, but in terms of judging it as like an outright horror game, I wasn't really, you know, too fazed by it at first, but it's kind of similar in a case to Bendy in that regard. But the only difference is that, like, whereas, you know, Bendy was able to actually finish, this one's still early in production. So this one at least has the time to try and hopefully prove me wrong.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, just gotta give it a chance.
I will comment real quick as far as what I'm seeing. Like, this is probably the most breakneck Resident Evil clone I've ever seen.
Breakneck, how so?
I mean, you go through inventory space, or take out these puppets, and load out your inventory like super freaking quickly.
Oh, I can only guess it's because it's the demo, and I'm sure like they'll pace it out more and add on to stuff.
I mean, it's one of those things. I'm not entirely against it, because, you know, sometimes stuff like this would be better, you know, to tackle a breakneck, especially if you are going to replay it.
What's that noise?
Who's there?
That's a Paul in his natural habitat. Listen.
Oh!
I can't see it.
We'll turn on a light.
I was saying, listen.
Well, I hear it, but I want to see it.
Okay, fine. Say hello, Ray.
Whoop.
Oh! He went better!
I think he's shy.
I was about to say, yeah. I think that a little Paul over there was camera shy.
So while I deal with probably the one time this game actually startled me, Paul, what was that like? Like, is that first? I should ask, is that easy on your throat doing that voice?
For me, it is, but I'm also utilizing singing training to do that voice. Because basically, obviously, it is very unnatural, but
Oh boy!
I'm utilizing.
Yeah, that's something that I'll give this game, like, and Logan kind of brought up. That was the one time that the game actually, like, genuinely scared me, when those puppets kind of, like, exploded into clones. But I will say, kind of a spoiler alert, don't get used to that. That's the only time something like that happens in the demo.
They're just showing off the technology of it.
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry. So yeah, back to you, Paul. About so you use the singing thing. So were there any like inspirations of yours that led to the voice you gave Ray?
For me, actually, kind of was. I thought about Cookie Monster.
I was,
I'll be
I was,
honest.
you know what? I was genuinely saying, I was genuinely thinking that like Cookie Monster mixed with Sweetums.
Yeah,
I could
Cookie
see it
Monster.
being that dude.
Right.
but I think about Cookie Monster. Like if Cookie Monster could sing a little bit.
What are you talking about? Cookie Monster. It's like, what are you talking about? Cookie Monster can sing. He has sung an entire song about C is for cookie.
And that was
True,
good enough
but
for
without
him.
verbalizing like that.
Oh yeah, no, because
Okay,
he's just
that
mumbling.
is
It's
true.
just hook, lockjaw mouth. Okay, so we have here a Resident Evil style puzzle. We have to make all those clocks match the symbol, except for that last one. You want to make it get to the circled 7. So squares are +2, triangles are -1, circles are +6s. As you do. Also, I guess one critique I could give this game is I wish it had a reload button for the guns, because there is no manual reload. You have to use the whole clip before you can actually reload it. So that's a bit of a bummer. All right, that should be +2 +2 -1 for 3. Okay, so how about this, Paul? When you were so how much have you? I guess without divulging or spoiling too much, how much have you recorded for this game? Like, is it like have they already asked you for everything that they need from you yet, or is it kind of like a hey, we're still adding on to this game as it's in production?
I would say I recorded mostly just about everything. There's like maybe 1 or 2 things that, or actually a good couple of things, but mostly everything that I recorded has been there. Actually, I would say this. From what because you played through this game before, like, not everything that I recorded is in here yet.
Ooh.
Oh.
Because I was gonna say,
Alright.
especially after I saw what Ray's design looks like, I'm like, oh, I really hope we get like a boss battle or something with him,
Oh,
because it looks cool.
So that's all I can say. So
Yeah.
I recorded mostly
NDA is very important.
Yeah. So I recorded
Wonder how
mostly
deep this goes.
more than what's in the demo. Let's just put it at that.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know how this? What experiences or how does it feel like? So you haven't actually played it just yet, but you've seen other people play it. What is it like seeing that and seeing your voice, like coming out of, like hearing your voice coming out of that thing in front of you?
To answer your first question, seeing other people play it, I kind of equate it to like Resident Evil 8 when you see everybody with the jump scares. It's like, ooh, but they love the game as well. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like they enjoyed the demo, and also to hear myself in the game.
Gotta say,
It's a
very-
weird kind of incredible, because it's just like, you know that's you, but unless people would probably have to ask if that's really you, because obviously you hear me now, it's just like, that can't be Paul. You don't sound nothing like that. I'm like, that's
You
me.
don't sound like a rabbit cookie monster.
Right. And just real quick, like, just real quick, I'm sorry for interrupting you earlier, but I wanted to say when that one puppet was trying to follow you, like, you know, I appreciated its sense of courtesy. It could have just hopped down that ledge and just
really
make a
could've.
straight beeline to you. Instead, it just went on its usual path. It's like, I gotta be courteous and take the stairs.
And that's also why, and I'll say that's also what I'm really liking about this horror game is that it's not, and the design and the developer himself talked about that. Like he doesn't want to like lean into like, oh my gosh, look at how creepy the designs are. Oh my gosh, look at how look at the gore as you shoot them. He just wanted just to be unsettling.
Yeah.
And he accomplished that big time. Big
Yes,
time.
he did.
Because despite no gore, just the atmosphere is just like, what is this? What is this?
Oh, for sure. Like it doesn't lean. It kind of does like what Resident Evil did, where it leans more into ambient noises, and so when you actually hear things moving, like you're immediately gripped and pulled towards it. So now we need to get to this is where we can like really start doing some in-depth like I guess interview stuff if we haven't already. Is the next big thing is I need to now I need to get to all these blue X's to use this key I just picked up to get some fuse boxes, to get some fuses I need. So, by all means, anyone take it away, because I guess I asked most of the questions I had on hand already.
All right. Well, I want to ask. I'm sorry, real quick. I want to ask James because I feel like he hasn't gotten a whole lot of chance to talk through this video.
By all means, go
what
for
are
it.
what are your first impressions of what you're seeing of this game so far?
Well, as I said before, I do find it kind of amusing how quick that this game feels in terms of playing, because it looked like whether it be like bringing out your inventory, your map, or just breaking out your typewriter every once in a while or what have you. It's honestly pretty impressive in that regard. And then as far as the yellow atmosphere is concerned, I pretty much share the exact same sentiment. Where like the best way to do horror is to. It's not always about the gore factor, but it's more so just about like the uncertainty of everything. Like especially when all you have to really worry about are, living puppets.
Yep. Oh, and as you're seeing over there now that I've engaged with Ray, now he'll start appearing in the overworld in pipes over there.
Oh boy.
Oh, there he is, lurking in the shadows.
Nope.
So just don't get too close to him, and or you can shoot him to scare him off.
Gotcha.
I don't like it, but boy, how does it make me smile.
Yes.
But yeah, otherwise, it's like I can think back to like several other games that actually do a good job of feeling like horror, even though they might not entirely be horror. Like we'll always go back to like freaking Metroid Fusion and Dread when it comes to that, because like they don't claim to be like horror games, but they definitely got the chops to be it. And it's like this game's no different in that regard.
I think so. Yeah, I think horror can come in. I think that's what makes horror fun to play with, is that it can come in various shapes.
Various shapes and heck, maybe even like genres you least suspect. Like, I mean, this is another one we bring up every once in a while, and it's like sometimes the community say as well, like the Vanessa chapter in A Hat in Time.
That's horror. Freaking Intelligent Cube or whatever that game is called could be horror with the dang music and that it uses all of
Yeah, just from the eerie atmosphere of it's just you on this floating array of blocks, and you have to literally survive.
Do not let anyone tell you that a puzzle game cannot be scary, because Intelligent Cube out there are gonna snatch those doubters' weaves.
Oh, I would argue that Catherine could even be a horror puzzle game with some of the monsters you have to fight.
Catherine actively tries to lean into being like horror or psychological and whatnot. Intelligence Cube is just, it's not even trying and it's already doing it.
That's also, yeah, that's fair. I got one more left. Jordy, do you have any thoughts on this game, and as well as your you working with Paul?
Well, I will say off the bat with this game, definitely a bunch of things kind of spooked me here and there, and I will admit I'm not the biggest fan of survival horror games. I did like Bendy and the Ink Machine for a good while, and it still holds a place in my heart. it's just one of those genres that are kind of hit or miss for me. But I will say this one in general, it does not disappoint in terms of, what it has so far for being a demo.
Oh.
Alrighty.
Oh, I was really hoping it would have fell off the edge and into the
Nah,
abyss.
they're not gonna give you a free kill that easy.
Or just give you a big ol' hug.
Yeah, they do like hugs. And actually, since we're on that subject, Paul, so we know you voiced Ray in this game. What other voice work have you done?
So, and I think Jordan has alluded to it. I am, at one point, I am also the voice of Olkenmont Krieger, which an original character Jordan created as well, for those who don't know. And I believe he's also in Tales of Analia.
Annualia. Yes, he's in
Annualia.
Tales of Annualia, a series I'm making with Steven, actually, is one of my co-writers, along with Kymania, and Logan is also helping out with one of the voices. It's something I recently launched, and I will say, so far, I think it's getting a good amount of reception, and I'm just super excited to do more writing for these characters, and sometime next year, I'm actually planning on making an official animatic series for all these guys.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Well, I mean, it definitely feels like people are enjoying it from the stuff that we've put out so far. Like, between the stuff you put out with Hector, the stuff I've put out with Snowbell and Venus, which, for people that aren't aware, those characters of mine, they are part of Tales of Annualia as well.
Mm-hmm.
And as for other voice work I've done, I got to be in a cinematic audiobook called Pursuit of Orlinia. I don't know if you guys ever have heard that audiobook before, which
I haven't
came
yet.
out. Huh?
I said I haven't yet. Go ahead with that. I have a question after that, though.
Yeah, Pursuit of Orlinia, which I got to voice a few minor characters: the bailiff, Sean, one of the security guards, and another security guard in that audiobook. And I describe it more as a cinematic audiobook because it's just like it's one of those, as much as you would like to have the book in front of you, if you just sit down and just absorb the episodic audiobook, it's one of those you could take it in without the book in front of you itself.
Oh, really?
And,
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And that also, I was in a paranormal podcast called Harbor.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah.
what's
In
the
which
premise of Harbor?
Harbor, in which the basis of that podcast, since we're dealing with humans and spiritual beings and half human, half monster, is called cryptids, in which the basis behind that podcast series is normal is what you get used to.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
Decent. Yeah, I think that's a good way to look about it.
And
And
I
here would
voiced
be
the-
a secret videotape for cheat codes if you beat this. The developer's having a lot of fun adding all sorts of fun little cheats into this.
and I voiced a character in that podcast named Dr. Franklin Deco, who is a exiled, I would say, scientist that used to work for an organization that really doesn't have the cryptids' best interest in heart for the community of Harbor. So now he works on behalf of the cryptids, who he sides with due to all the political tensions between that former organization and the cryptids and the humans all in one. So
Okay.
that's been a really cool podcast to sink my teeth into.
Well, that's cool.
Oh, is that it?
And
Oh,
then
let's see that a demo.
There's supposed to be an ending message that plays, but I guess it only happens the first time you beat the game. But it's basically a message from the developer asking you to please consider giving this game a wish list on Steam if you enjoyed what you had seen.
They also advertised another game that this person worked on as well, didn't they?
I
I
believe,
believe so.
Yes.
Yes, they did. Dread. Yeah.
The long arms.
Basically, what Long Arms does, it actually is really neat for speed running. James, is what Long Arms does is, you know how you have to get right up to a door or a locker in order to interact with it.
Yeah.
Long Arms basically extends the reach of that interaction for like a couple miles. So
Yeah, basically,
you can literally just
all
look
these-
at a door across the room and enter it immediately.
Yeah, all the cheats that we unlocked in this demo basically put you in dev mode.
Yeah, it's just him having fun, and then they have a timer. They already have as we saw.
So,
speedrun mode.
contrary to the name, long arms mode does not actually give you long arms.
No, it is unfortunately a fallacy.
Oh.
But
If anything, it makes your arm shorter by an inch.
But yeah, as far as the game's concerned, like I dig Resident Evil mechanics. I dig the silly tone this is going for so far. I want to see where this game goes next. And I did enjoy Benny and the Ink Machine, but I think I'm gonna enjoy this one a bit more in terms of like the mechanics, keeping me like gripped from like start to finish. So yeah, props to the developer. And any other thoughts anyone has? I don't want to like cut this off like what's the word?
I am not gonna front. So when Ducky released the demo to the public, and I think he is also pleasantly shocked by the reception just of the demo itself, because it is trending. Like, it is trending on YouTube. Like,
oh, that's
oh
great.
Lord, like it is trending.
I guess
Yeah,
the best
actually,
way
possible.
certain people, like popular YouTubers, have played this, like Super Harbor
Yes.
Mike. Even Jacksepticeye has played this.
Oh,
That's
yes.
awesome. The
Yes.
people
Yeah.
I saw were the people I saw were Manly Badass Hero and Alpha Beta Gamer. They do those two cover a lot of indie horror games, and they were very pleased with this. And
Oh yeah.
I guess Hype, did this look any better compared to the first time you saw it?
I will say, like, again, they must have like worked fast between when SR streamed it a couple days ago and when you played the demo for us, because I did notice that like the rooms and the overall lighting definitely got a lot darker. You know, helps make it a bit more unsettling. So I appreciate them tackling that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they solved any other like kind of, I guess in the grand scheme of things, I'll call them nitpicks. I don't
Go
think
for it.
they fixed any other nitpicks that I've had for it, but again, it's still pretty early on, so I'm willing to give them the benefit of a doubt.
I guess like if
That's
you were to pick one of them, what would be like a nitpick that you'd like to see them like try to address?
I feel like, again, this probably was by design, but I feel like for enemies in a survival horror game, I don't really find the Muppet knockoffs all like super intimidating. Like, they're very easy to like maneuver around, and Logan didn't show it off because, you know, he's just that good.
Oh, shush.
When you get hit by them, you do take damage, but it doesn't look like particularly visceral. If anything, it just kind of looks like they go up to you. It's like, hello, bonk,
They
and
hug
then
you
just
and push
that's
you
it.
away. And for all I know, maybe
shake
higher
you, and, like-
difficulties. Go ahead.
They just literally like they hug you, but they hug you and shake you, and like they just yank you to the ground.
Right.
Yeah,
And
that's all
they
it
ask
is.
you where's their money.
Yeah,
Right.
They got it. That is how the shakedown is performed.
It's like,
I-
where's my money, Gordy?
I know, but yeah, so I know developer wanted to try and avoid, like, he wanted to avoid just making, oh my gosh, creepypasta Muppets roaming around, but I could see this, like, there was a game called Albino Lullaby that I played where, yes, the designs were creepy, but the just as a, I guess, non sequitur, the mechanic of that game wasn't that they were chasing you or there was stealth. The premise behind that horror game was they were moving slowly, but they were constantly moving towards you. So you always had this looming presence behind you at all times. You couldn't just stop. There was nowhere safe. You had to just keep moving. So I think maybe in a vein of like that, in the sense of how that was the thing that horror game was like grabbing onto, maybe with this game, the thing they're grabbing is maybe less so the inherent creepiness of looking at a Muppet, but more so the fact that unless you manage your resources properly, you can't guarantee they're going to stay down for good. And especially with what we saw in Ray's room with that one Norman Muppet, Norman is his name, with that one Norman Muppet being able to multiply, maybe he's planning on adding other sorts of like wacky, toony curveballs they can throw at you.
Probably.
We'll just have to wait and find out once the full game
sure.
releases.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to James, do you have any other final thoughts on it?
Who is this James that you refer to? I am the artist formerly known as Kermit the Frog.
Oh, hi,
Oh no! He's been taken over!
Oh,
Yay!
that'll be fun. But yeah, so thank you for joining us. for this silly little video. This was, I guess, a passion project I wanted to show off, and I was happy to have some friends on board as always. So, yeah. With that said, thank you for watching. Please consider giving My Friendly Neighborhood a wish list on Steam if you enjoyed any of this. The demo is still free and available to play. And I did not plan an outro for this. Go ahead, Paul.
Before I forget, if you do want to find me on Twitter,
I've
said it before,
please.
but I'll say it again. My Twitter handle is DeepGreenVeo. DeepGreene.
Green.
VO.
Gotcha.
All right, we'll
Alrighty.
make sure to advertise your link in the description so that way
For
people
sure.
can give you a follow.
Definitely.
Will do. Yeah.
Alrighty.
But yeah, thank you again for joining us, Paul. This was quite a treat.
It was great. Nice
Thank
getting to
you.
meet you.
Thank you for having me on board.
You're welcome.
Alrighty. So, toodles, everybody. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Until next time, everybody.
I say to you, goodbye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.